Curious what smart vents are and how they can help control the airflow in your home? Stick around as we get into that in the question of the day. What's going on, guys? Matt in the hat, Matt Johnson Real Estate, powered by Keller Williams Diamond Partners. You are tuned in to the hot list. I come to you on Monday through Friday, each and every week around 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. We hang out and talk real estate. We talk properties new to the market with recent price reductions or something unique about the properties that I want to share with y'all and want you all to know. I also answer a question of the day that is submitted by a listener of the podcast. And to find out how you can get your question on air and answer it in general, just tune in till the end. And finally, I recognize and thank our sponsor of the week each and every week. And for more information on how you could be a sponsor, all you got to do is just hang out with me through the end. The property we're talking about today is 1706 Hammond Drive, right here in Emporia. It's a 3-bed, 3-bath condo. It has an attached 2-car garage, 2,598 square feet of finished space, listed for $189,900 courtesy of Eck Real Estate. So, kind of throwing you a curveball. Normally we do houses. Today this is a condo. What is unique about this one? It does have a HOA each month. Here's the thing. That HOA is going to cover your trash, lawn service, snow removal, access to the clubhouse, exterior paint, roof replacement, and some other exterior maintenance. That's quite a bit for just having a monthly HOA. Look at how much of that you don't have to do, don't have to worry about. That right there is well worth it. On the main floor, you've got the primary bed and bath. You've got a fireplace, a second kitchen. In the basement, there is a bedroom that would be the 4th non-conforming bedroom. And of course, you've got a walkout basement with a covered patio and then a deck as well. If you have any questions about the property, all you got to do is just shoot me a message wherever you're listening to this, or click on the link in the description and it'll take you right to my website and you can see the property for yourself. I do want to recognize and thank our sponsor of the week this week, and that is Thomas Feltz Photography. Thomas does amazing work. If you guys just click on the link in the description, it's going to take you to his Facebook page. From there, it's going to give you a link to his website, phone number, email, whatever works best to contact him. He's got it there. But just check out some of the examples of the work that he does. He's got baby pictures. He's got family pictures, senior pictures. I mean, just look at the quality and the work. I've been to his house when he has been editing some of the videos. I mean, the time and effort that he not only puts into the pictures, taking the pictures, but editing them as well. For those that may not know, there's quite a bit of behind the scenes that you don't see. You see the end result, not the amount of time that he puts into it, and his work ethic is unmatched in this industry, and he does a fantabulous job, and that's why him and I continue to work with each other as well. If you would like to be a sponsor of the week or interested in being a sponsor of the week, wherever you're listening to this, shoot me a message. We'll jump on the phone, have a quick call, see if you are a good match for being a sponsor of the week. And now moving on to my favorite part of the show, which is the question of the day. The question of the day is submitted by a listener of the podcast each and every day, Monday through Friday. I've been doing this for over a year, and thankfully, you guys keep coming up with questions, which I love because, for those that don't know, I'm not the most creative person. So by you guys asking questions, that gives me something to talk about. That gives me content to talk about and discuss with everybody. So I greatly appreciate that. Wherever you're listening to this, all you got to do is drop your question. I will, number one, make sure that I get that answered for you. Secondly, I will also use that for content on the show. Question of the day. What are smart vents? So this week and over the last couple weeks, we've been talking about technology, pairing it with home as well as home automation. So it makes sense that we would just get into this and talk about this a little bit more. Many know there's more popular options for home automations. Many know about the smart thermostats. These can be a great addition to any home because this gives you a little bit more control over your heating and cooling throughout the year, keeps your house comfortable, and of course, it keeps your energy costs in check. However, recently it's been determined that the smart thermostats aren't necessarily enough to optimize the heating and cooling of homes. And the reason for this is simply because your your vents are the ones that could be potentially causing the problem and betraying you. So what we're going to talk about today, 4 things to know about smart vents. So, number 1 is going to be the problem with standard vents. No matter how smart your thermostat is, it's not going to get even heating and cooling through your entire home. It's just not going to happen unless you control the temperature in each room that your HVAC unit connects to. Some of the thermostats take this into consideration and actually have temperature sensors that are in each room. And these will adjust the heating and cooling based on the actual temperature across the house, as opposed to just reading the temperature where the thermostat is. Because, as most people know, thermostats are typically in a main hallway, and that main hallway is not going to be the same temperature as maybe one of the bedrooms, or if you have bedrooms or additional entertainment rooms in the basement or on a second story as well. So because of that, it doesn't solve the issue. While the thermostat heats and cools each room till it reaches a reasonable temperature, without the ability to control that airflow, there's really not much that you can be done. Which brings us right to number 2, which are the smart vents themselves. So this is where the smart vents have entered in recently, and this allows your home's heating and cooling system to treat each room as a like a separate climate zone. So it doesn't section it off, but it treats it as an individual zone. This gives a greater amount of control to you, the homeowner, over the heat and cool air that enters into whichever room it's installed. So based on the temperature in each zone, your smart vents are going to open wider to allow more air to flow in, or close to slow or even stop airflow into that zone only. So, for example, my house, my bedroom is always hot or always cold because I have 2 vents in there, while my living room, because it's larger, I have 2 vents, but it's a larger area, so it is the opposite of what my bedroom would be. It's kind of weird, just the way it works out. So these would help with that, because these ensure that there's not a specific area that gets too hot or too cold, while the thermostat works to bring everything up to that acceptable temperature. Zones that are going to reach the temperature first, like the example I used in my bedroom, these vents are going to start to shut off to maintain that temperature in there, and then that way the air flows to other rooms, and then the vents will open back up once the temperature starts to shift, too high or too low. Number 3 is going to be smart vents and smart thermostats. Installing both smart vents and the smart thermostat gives a significant amount of control over the heating and cooling system in your home. The thermostat and the temperature sensors control the HVAC unit itself, as well as optimize the heating and cooling. This results in keeping your house comfortable, and we all want to be comfortable, while also saving money. The smart vents make sure that none of the hot or cold air is going to be wasted, because controlling that airflow to each zone, as I mentioned, it's going to help control that and help your system heat or cool those zones in a quicker and more efficient manner. And that brings us to number 4. Are smart vents right for you? Smart vents are going to be ideal for those who want to automate their heating and cooling system and save as much money as possible. Can make already efficient systems a little more efficient, and the issues with certain parts of your home, like I mentioned with mine, that are warmer or cooler, this could help eliminate that problem. And that's why I was excited to research this question. So the smart vents are not going to be for everyone. So there are going to be people that don't want to automate your home or have a fairly open floor plan. With that fairly open floor plan, you may not have major temperature differences with a more open than a more, kind of walled off, like what my house is. So you may not see a huge benefit if you are not looking to automate or have kind of an open floor plan where there's not huge temperature drops or rises. So that's it. Those are the 4 things to know about smart vents. Again, number 1, the problem with standard smart vents is, they don't shut themselves off. They keep that air flowing no matter what the temperature is in that room, because that thermostat goes off the temperature where it is. Number 2, installing the smart vents allows you to basically zone off each room that those are installed, and gives you a little more control over heating and cooling that room as well as that temperature. Number 3, with adding smart vents as well as a smart thermostat, gives even more control, because you're going to be optimizing the heating and cooling, not just at the thermostat, not just at the vent, but doing both. And then, of course, number 4, are smart vents right for you? They possibly can, because they're ideal for people who want to automate their heating and cooling system and run a little more efficient. They are not for people that don't yet understand automation, don't want automation, or not quite ready for it, as well as people with open floor plans or fairly open floor plans, because there's not going to be such a huge temperature drop across that. So you may not see a benefit in a house style like that versus one that has a few more walls. That is going to do it for me today. So thank you guys for watching and listening to the Hot List with Matt in a Hat, Matt Johnson Real Estate, powered by Keller Williams Diamond Partners. I do this because your experience matters and should be trusted with a veteran. Y'all have an awesome Friday, and tune back in here at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time on Monday. I'll see you then.